Welcome back. Today we are diving into one of the biggest debates in modern programming, C++ versus Rust. Specifically, we are looking at the memory safety revolution. For decades, C++ has been the king of high-performance software, from video games to operating systems. But it comes with a dangerous flaw: manual memory management. Rust has entered the arena promising the same speed, but with guaranteed safety. Let's understand how they compare. To understand the difference, we first need to look at how computer memory works. We have the stack and the heap. The stack is fast and organized, like stacking plates. It is perfect for simple data. But for complex, dynamic applications, we need the heap. The heap is like a giant open warehouse. You can store anything there, but it is messy. You have to find space, put your data there, and most importantly, remember to clean it up when you are done. This cleanup process is where the trouble begins. Here is how C++ handles the heap. It gives you complete control. You allocate memory using keywords like new, and you must manually free it using delete. It is powerful because you control every single byte, but notice the warning. If you forget to delete, you have a leak. If you delete too early, you have a dangling pointer. The language trusts you completely, even if you make a mistake. That trust leads to three major catastrophes. First, memory leaks, where your program eats up more and more RAM until it crashes. Second, dangling pointers, accessing memory that doesn't exist anymore, which hackers love to exploit. And third, data races, where multiple parts of your code fight over the same memory, causing random, impossible-to-debug errors. These aren't just bugs, they are security vulnerabilities affecting everything from Windows to Chrome. This is why Rust was created. Rust promises memory safety without using a garbage collector. Languages like Java or Python use a garbage collector, which runs in the background and pauses your program to clean up memory. Rust doesn't do that. It achieves safety at compile time. This means if your code is unsafe, it simply won't compile. You get the speed of C++, but the safety of a high-level language. How does Rust do this magic? Through a system called ownership. It has three main rules. 1. Each value has an owner variable. 2. There can only be one owner at a time. You cannot have two variables owning the same data. And 3. When the owner goes out of scope, the data is automatically dropped. Rust inserts the cleanup code for you, exactly where it needs to be, so you can never forget. But what if you need to share data? Rust uses borrowing. You can have infinite immutable borrows, meaning many parts of your code can read the data at once, like people reading a book. Or you can have exactly one mutable borrow, meaning only one person can write at a time. You cannot have both. This simple rule eliminates data races entirely because you can never have a writer and a reader active at the exact same moment. Let's see this in action. On the left, in C++, we create a vector, point to it, and then destroy it. If we try to access it afterwards, the program crashes with a segmentation fault, or worse, it silently corrupts data. On the right, the exact same logic in Rust results in a compiler error. The Rust compiler says, hey, that data does not live long enough. It refuses to build the program. Rust stops the bug before it ever runs. You might think all this safety makes Rust slow. Actually, it is the opposite. Because Rust does all these checks while compiling, the final program runs at native speed, just like C++. Compare this to Python or Java, which have overhead from virtual machines or garbage collectors. Rust gives you safety with zero runtime cost. So, which should you choose? Stick with C++ if you are maintaining existing legacy systems like game engines or operating systems where rewriting is impossible. But for new projects, command line tools, or network services, Rust is the superior choice. It forces you to write correct code from day one, saving you hundreds of hours of debugging later. Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.